and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Arvind Kejriwal is in a fix. He's in an absolute fix. If Kejriwal accepts that his right-hand man, one of the top and most powerful ministers in his cabinet, is actually very corrupt and has not just been corrupt but has done Benami land transactions, used shell companies who use Hawala, made investments worth over 27 crores, which is over 100 times his disclosed income. Then Kejriwal essentially admits that his topmost minister has been corrupt and is into money laundering. But what's the other option? The other option is worse. If Arvind Kejriwal defends his minister Satyendar Jain, then he runs the risk of dragging his own political capital down with it. In that case, Kejriwal will be accused of defending the corrupt, blindsiding Hawala transactions and avoiding the questions of the massive assets controlled by his man, which is completely disproportionate to Satyendar Jain's known sources of income. The whole country is watching Kejriwal now, and Kejriwal knows it. The charges have hit home literally, and almost 90% of Kejriwal's political appeal has been on the fact that he started with an anti-corruption agenda. So when there are charges of Hawala entries, paper companies, Hawala entry operators, purchase of 200 picas of land using front companies, Kejriwal's decision to go all out, to brazen it out by saying the charges are political, could land Kejriwal himself in trouble, especially, ladies and gentlemen, when a High Court order, which I have a copy of with me, when the Delhi High Court has through a 2019 order held that over 17 crores was indeed laundered. Especially when there is a serious moral culpability angle as well. Satyendar Jain was the urban development minister, and it cannot be completely accidental that the large real estate that he gathered through front entities would have made him a huge profit on the side. So viewers, I think Kejriwal should not be brazening it out. He's making a big mistake. Kejriwal will get more public support if he totally distances himself from Satyendar Jain and allows the facts and not his political interest to decide which line he takes. Now, our channel Republic has all the facts, and tonight I shall be putting them together for you as the Satyendar files. There are a lot of scoops on the program tonight, so ladies and gentlemen, let's debate the Satyendar files, staring at Arvind Kejriwal in the face tonight. And Kejriwal's taking it all out for his arrested mantri. Debate number one, the hottest political debate in the country today. Another Hindu targeted and shot down in Kashmir. 36-year-old Rajni Bala shot dead in her school. How many more killings, and what's the government's policy there? And the very aggressive Tamil Nadu BJP chief Arnab joins me on the challenge he's throwing to Stalin. That's at 10:40 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, and here are the headlines this Tuesday evening on the debate tonight. As the ED gets the custody of Kejriwal's minister, Republic has accessed the Satyendar Jain files. Stunning details are on the show tonight.
दिल्ली के स्वास्थ्य मंत्री सत्येंद्र जैन जी को केंद्र सरकार ने गिरफ्तार किया है। मैंने सत्येंद्र जैन के मामले के सारे कागज देखे हैं। केस बिल्कुल फर्जी है।
Kejriwal does what the Congress used to do. Becomes the person who stands guarantee for the person accused of corruption. Another Kashmiri Hindu shot dead in a cowardly terror attack. Justice for Rajni. Chants ring across India as the 36-year-old teacher is shot dead. Is the third targeted killing in 20 days. It's time for a watertight policy to protect Kashmiri Hindus now. First arrest made in the Hawala assassination, accused sent to 5-day police custody.
DMK government came to power. They have promised the price of petrol and diesel would be reduced by 5 rupee and 4 rupee. They haven't even reduced. They promised 5 rupee and 4 rupee.
And Annamalai gives a 20-day deadline to the Stalin government to lower taxes on fuel. He's joining me live at 10:40 tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, Arvind Kejriwal has gone all out and staked everything, absolutely everything, to defend his man, his minister Satyendar Jain. He stuck his neck out to say that he's even gone through the Satyendar Jain files. Arvind Kejriwal, I don't know what files you have seen, but I have the Satyendar files with me. And Mr. Kejriwal, you should know that they raise serious questions. And therefore, more serious questions will be asked when you completely pitch your political tent on the side of Satyendar Jain. Should politics be your priority, Mr. Kejriwal, or the facts? Let's debate.
The Arvind Kejriwal of 2012 demanding for Salman Khurshid's resignation, flaunting central government reports.
ये सबूत इतने पक्के हैं, उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार की रिपोर्ट है, भारत सरकार की रिपोर्ट है, ये सबूत इतने पक्के हैं कि इसके आधार पे अगर और जांच करानी है करा लो, लेकिन सबसे पहले इन दोनों को गिरफ्तार किया जाए। और हम ऐसे कानून मंत्री को 2 मिनट के लिए बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे, इनको तुरंत बर्खास्त किया जाए। तो हम यहाँ पे कुछ दिन के लिए बैठे हैं, देखेंगे, सारा देश देखेगा कि ये सरकार क्या करती है भ्रष्ट मंत्री का, इसको निकालती है कि इसका बचाव करती है। अगर तो इसका बचाव करेगी सरकार, तो सरकार नंगी होगी पूरे देश के साथ। बैठ के देखेंगे सरकार, अगर सरकार बचाव करती है सारे देश के सामने सरकार नंगी होगी और अगले चुनाव में ऐसी कांग्रेस पार्टी को और इसकी सहयोगी दलों को एक भी वोट नहीं मिलना चाहिए देश के।
The Arvind Kejriwal of 2022 rejecting the Enforcement Directorate evidence when his own is in lockup.
दिल्ली के स्वास्थ्य मंत्री सत्येंद्र जैन जी को केंद्र सरकार ने गिरफ्तार किया है। पढ़ा लिखा आदमी हूँ, कानून की भी बहुत समझ है। इनके ऊपर लगाए गए सारे आरोप फर्जी हैं, पूरा का पूरा मामला फर्जी है। केवल राजनीति की वजह से उन्हें गिरफ्तार किया गया। अगर उनके मामले में 1% की भी सच्चाई होती तो मैं खुद ही कब का उनके खिलाफ सख्त एक्शन ले चुका होता।
These two Kejriwals are 10 years apart, but what I bring to you tonight is the Satyendar files, stunning, sensational and unprecedented. From deep sources, the details of the sensational money laundering through 3 Hawala operators in Kolkata started to prop up. As per the Enforcement Directorate evidence, Satyendar Jain was using these channels. The Enforcement Directorate says that companies that have been controlled by Arvind Kejriwal's minister received Hawala transactions to the tune of whopping 16.39 crore rupees from a shocking 56 paper companies.
तो अगर 2 सरकारें, 2 मंत्री, दोनों भ्रष्टाचारी, दोनों जेल की सलाखों के पीछे, तो 100% करप्शन रेट हुआ कि नहीं हुआ? अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को कहीं मौका मिलेगा तो वो भ्रष्टाचार करने से चूकेंगे नहीं।
Part of the laundered money was allegedly used to purchase lands in the name of shell companies. Kejriwal's mantri purchased lands in the vicinity of unauthorized colonies. We are given to understand that 200 bighas of land was actually purchased in Kerala, Ochandi, Nizampur, Bodan, and all of this was between 2010 and 2011 and 2013 and 2014. Now this is the shocking part. In no uncertain terms does the Enforcement Directorate believe that Satyendar Jain actually used black money to buy these lands.
जब उनको लगा कि सीबीआई के जंगल से निकल जाएंगे ये, तो इन्होंने ईडी के जरिए इनको पकड़ने का प्रयत्न किया, लेकिन कुछ निकला नहीं है।
Kejriwal has skimmed the surface and brushed aside the Enforcement Directorate's evidence. Does he really have the facts to counter the Enforcement Directorate's investigation? If he does, then why wasn't he factually putting across his evidence, what he's essentially been dubbing it as a purely motivated case? And the fact of the matter is that politically, is Arvind Kejriwal staking it all by defending his arrested mantri? Does he really have enough evidence to brush aside the Enforcement Directorate and Income Tax Department's investigation? Let's debate.
It's a classic case, Atishi Singh, AAP spokesperson and MLA. It's a classical case, Atishi Singh, of defending the indefensible. And you know, Arvind Kejriwal has painted himself into a corner. He's staked his entire political reputation, Shawan, that, you know, there's no one more honest. There's no one more decent. There's no one more clean. There's no one more pious. There's no one more transparent. And there's no more honest politician in this country than Satyendar Singh. So I thought, Atishi, for your information, I would collate all the information about Satyendar Jain, and we'll call it hashtag the Satyendar files. And I can tell you one thing, Atishi, the files, you know, they're humongous. And there are more and more information that is coming in on what this man has been up to. So welcome, Atishi. Sudhanshu Trivedi, Mohandas Pai, M.R. Venkatesh, Yashovardhan Azad, Shikha Mukherjee, senior journalist from Kolkata, Manasvi Thapar from Ahmedabad. My first question. The Delhi High Court, Atishi, in 2019, upheld the income tax assessment for the years FY 10-11, FY 15-16 and FY 15-16, which showed that the Right Honorable Satyendar Jain is the sole beneficiary from 10 Benami companies. Benami companies. Delhi High Court. MR, you see this? I don't know what you're doing. You're going all out to defend a man against whom these observations have been made by the Honorable Delhi High Court. Benami companies. And not a small amount, you know, not a small amount. Big amounts, large amounts. Crores of rupees, 16 crore plus through Benami transactions. I'm sure you've seen this. Why are you doing this? You think people will not see these details, Atish? Please explain to me the following companies and his role in them. Can you hear me, Atish? First,
yes, I can.
Indo Metal Impex Private Limited, 6.42 crores. Akinchan Developers Private Limited, 1.83 crores. Indo Metal Impex Private Limited, 0.72 crores. Your paragon of virtue also controls Parias Info Solutions Private Limited, 1.80 crores. In his search for honesty, he also ends up controlling Akinchan Developers Private Limited, 1.01 crores. Mangal Yatan Projects Private Limited, in the period 15-16, Sudhanshu Trivedi, तब वो मंत्री थे 1.90 crores. Parias Info Solutions, 0.69 crores. Again, Akinchan Developers Private Limited, 2.02 crores, totaling 16.39 crores. 56 paper companies, 3 Hawala entry operators in Kolkata, companies controlled by Satyendar Jain. I'd like your response.
See, Arnab, you have given a lot of facts. I hope you will give me adequate time to respond. Number one, please remember that this is not the first case that is being filed against an Aam Aadmi Party leader, an Aam Aadmi Party MLA, an Aam Aadmi Party minister. This has been the story for the last 7-8 years, that case after case after case after case has been filed by central government agencies like the CBI, like the Enforcement Directorate, like the Delhi Police, like the Income Tax Department, and this has now been going on for many years. So this is not the first case that has been filed. Second, if you were to see the history of all these cases, that finally none of these cases has been able to stand the test of time, and all Aam Aadmi Party MLAs and leaders have come out absolutely clean. Not just this, all Aam Aadmi Party government files, 400 of them were kept by the BJP central government trying to look for evidence of corruption, including files from Mr. Satyendar Jain's department. They could not file a single one. So therefore, let us not forget that all these cases that have been filed against the Aam Aadmi Party government have been filed by the BJP. And none of them have stood the test of time. Number two,
one minute, just one minute, please, if I may counter you for a minute, please. You know, Atishi, let's go back to 2011, all right? Let's go back to 2011, okay? We exposed the corruption in 2010, 2011. You guys started India Against Corruption, climbed onto the scams exposed by us, and says, hey, listen, we are never going to get into politics, but we really are the clean guys. We're going to clean the system. And you used to laugh at the Congress party when accusations were made on Kalmadi. And you know what he said? He said, it's not the first case. When accusations were made on Ashok Chavan, he said, I'll eventually come clean. You sound exactly like Ashok Chavan and Kalmadi right now. How things have changed, haven't they? But kindly tell me, Atishi, please tell me, Atishi, I request you, please tell me, Atishi, did your man control these companies whose names I took? Can you please give me a specific reply? I have given you names of 6 companies totaling 16.39 crores and allow me now, please, allow me. For you should have seen before you came and tried to defend the indefensible, the observations of the Honorable High Court. What did the High Court say? The High Court said very, very clearly, and I'll tell you the page. There are 8 companies whose shares were purchased by the 2 petitioners, whose names have been included in the list. Admittedly, in respect of the shares of ADPL, proceedings under section 24(4) of the Act have been initiated. The petitioners have themselves, please hear me, the petitioners have themselves enclosed a copy of the order dated 24th May 2017, passed in respect of the Benamidar, which notes that the cash that was routed through accommodation entries in the garb of share, capital or premium, in fact belonged to Satyendar Kumar Jain, and it was on his instruction that the entire transaction was orchestrated. Have you not seen this High Court report? You are just trying to, just pass it muster by saying, it's political. Have you seen the High Court report? It is talking of accommodation entries, Atishi. That is why you entered politics. That is why, allow me to complete, you said Hawala operators, shell companies, this rubbish which is in the Indian political system, we will clean up. I'm telling you today, this man, your minister, has these observations of the High Court about accommodation entries, and you, Atishi, who joined politics saying, I'll clean the system, are sitting on India's #1 channel defending him. I would only say, wow, Atishi, wow. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. Who controlled these companies, Atishi? The nation wants to know. Who controlled these companies? The nation wants to know. Tell me, who controlled the companies?
Are you done?
Who controlled the companies? Will you start?
I would appreciate the fact.
No, will you start? Who controlled the companies, Atishi? You have to answer my question.
It's not.
Who controlled the companies?
See.
Who controlled the companies?
Either you speak or I speak.
No, I will stop when you answer my question. I will only ask you who controlled the companies through which 16 crores was passed.
If you stop speaking, then I will start speaking.
But
waiting. If you don't stop speaking,
oh come on, let's not waste time. Who controlled the companies?
Yes, exactly. First of all, the Enforcement Directorate allegations on which they are investigating Mr. Satyendar Jain regarding certain companies where they say money laundering has happened are all from the period of 2015 to 2017. Kindly see the papers that were presented by the Enforcement Directorate in court today. All charges are from the period of 2015 to 2017, where Mr. Satyendar Jain had nothing to do with the company that is under discussion.
Why,
Mr.
wow. I
Satyendar
ask
Jain,
you.
who used to be at one point of time on the board of directors of that company, resigned in 2013.
Right. Now you are. I'll ask you one question. Okay, now listen. No, one second. Atishi, listen. Atishi, for you 1 minute. No, Atishi, you'll have to listen to me. Atishi, I'm countering you right here. I'm countering you right here, Atishi. I can open the phone lines. People know who's right and who's wrong tonight.
That confession happened more than 2 years ago.
All right.
And that is the reason
Have you
why
please
from
finished?
2019
Have you please
onwards, there
finished? Have you please finished? Have you please finished? Have you kindly finished?
There were 7
Have you kindly
times
finished?
when Mr. Satyendar Jain
No.
was questioned on the matter.
I'll say one thing to you.
Thereafter, the Enforcement Directorate put this case in the cold storage because they could not find anything against Mr. Satyendar
now
Jain.
Atishi,
The directors and the owners of the company from 2015
Atishi, I'll tell you one thing. Now here's some facts. Let's check it out.
That they were involved in money laundering.
Okay, Atishi,
And the
now,
case
you know,
was
a
being
long
carried
reply
against-
that
case
does
was being
not
carried
stop,
out
does not
against
make
them.
you right. It's
But-
making you look more nervous. You have to listen now. Okay, a long reply where you essentially
Arnab,
labor on one point because you're scared about my next question. You are scared of my next question. You are scared of my next question. Yes, here's one point. Yeah, okay, Atishi. Now let's hear it. Okay.
I'm not scared of any question, Arnab.
Okay, but you should be able to
we
counter.
are the party that dismissed its minister in 2015.
Then dismiss
when an
Satyendar Jain.
allegation of corruption
Then why
was
won't you
there and
dismiss
prima facie
Satyendar
there
Jain?
was evidence.
Okay, here's one point.
We are
Okay.
the same. We are the same party that a few days ago dismissed the health minister from Punjab because there was evidence that he was taking
then sack him too,
he
no?
was taking money asking for 1% commission.
All
The
right.
Anti-Corruption Bureau
Now, can you
of
stop,
Punjab
please? You know, we're wasting time. We want to get the other panelists in. I'll tell you a couple of things, viewers. You know, these are one of those. Just 1 minute. I'll take it away for a moment. You know, viewers, these are one of those moments. These are 1 minute. I'll take it away. I want to speak to my viewers. I want to speak to my viewers for a minute. Viewers, these are one of those moments when on a political debate, a political party spokesperson comes and says that I will read out the templated argument and I will read it out with intensity and emotion and I'll get away with it. But I'm going to prove to you tonight, viewers, that they can't get away with it when the facts are not on their side. I have with me Shravan. Shravan, Atishi just said, Sudhanshu Trivedi wants to respond, so we'll start the political debate, then I'll come to you. My information, just to tell you, Atishi, before Sudhanshu Trivedi comes in, is that as of 31/3/2015, Shri Jain, his wife Miss Poonam Jain, father Ram Sharan Jain and Satyendar Kumar Jain, Hindu undivided family, for your information, hold majority shares totaling to 54.17%. That's 10.42% plus 10.42% plus 13.33% plus 20% shares of the company Ideal Estate Private Limited. And the annual report of the year 2015. Atishi, listen. The annual report of the year 2015, as per the website of the MCA, disclosed Shri Satyendra Jain and Miss Poonam Jain as key management personnel. Okay, Akinchan Developers Private Limited, Shri Jain holds more than 20% shares of the company. Now, Mangalyatan Projects Private Limited, Shri Jain controls the company through the JJ Ideal Estate Private Limited, and his father. Combined total shareholding is 44.23%. Okay, and Shri Jain was earlier director and shareholder, and all the agreements for purchase of the land and the company signed by him. Now, you need to understand here that Mr. Jain, when he was minister, has admitted in his petition before the Delhi High Court, which was dismissed by the Honorable Court on 22nd of May 2017, that the money laundering of 16.39 crores was carried out using these shell companies. However, it was contended that the money laundered amount, that is the proceeds of crime, of 16.39 crores was disclosed under the income disclosure scheme launched by the Income Tax Department in the year 2016 by Shri Ankush Jain and Shri Vaibhav Jain, who are close associates of Satyendar Jain. The Income Tax Department rejected the disclosure of the money laundered amount under IDS. 1 minute. And the Delhi High Court order, 1 minute. The Delhi High Court order, of which I have a copy with me, and you are not being able to answer it, and you realize that you're in a trap tonight. And someone will tell you more details. And I request you, Atishi, you are losing support every time you're countering me because I'm putting the facts out before you, and you're brazening it out. And I request you not to brazen it out, especially when you started your political career saying you will clean corruption. You're brazening it out. You're sounding like what the Congress party sounded. You're sounding like a mix of Kapil Sibal and Chidambaram in 2012. Atishi, you're in a soup in this one. You're in a soup in this one, and you know you can't get away right now. And I request you to listen to me. I request you to listen to me. I request you to listen to me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. No, but I'm telling you the facts.
Some Ankush Jain, some Atul Jain.
Some.
Just because their surname is Jain. Are you responsible for everyone who's a Goswami
I think you're sounding silly right now. I'll tell you one thing. The Honorable High Court. One second.
In this country?
One
of course
second.
I'm not.
Atishi, don't try and do politics here, okay? The Honorable Delhi High Court. The Honorable Delhi High Court. Atishi, please. Atishi, listen. The Honorable Delhi High Court, through its order dated 21st of August 2018.
You're the one who's going to be
because you're not answering the question. I'm telling you, do you believe in what the Delhi High Court said?
Arnab, first of all allegations made by the Enforcement Directorate, the papers that
I'm asking you whether you believe in the Delhi High Court.
In which context
Delhi High Court
discussion?
Delhi High Court
2015 to 2017.
I repeat,
Arnab,
Delhi High Court.
Arnab,
Delhi High Court.
Enforcement Directorate is the one carrying
I am
out
quoting
the
Delhi High Court.
Delhi High Court. Delhi
in the
High
court
Court
of Justice Muralidhar and Justice Talwant Singh.
The investigation today is being carried out. The investigation is being carried out by the
we start the political
Directorate.
debate.
All of whose charges
just 1 minute, it's all right, we extend the
2015
debate.
to
Now can I come in, Arnab?
Okay, we are opening the debate right now. Yes, 1 minute.
Mr. Satyendar Jain was not a director in the company.
Oh God. Okay. Shravan wants to make a point, and after that, after that, Sudhanshu. Okay, Sudhanshu comes in, and then we'll bring you in, Shravan. Yes, Sudhanshu.
Okay. Arnab, since you have given evidence, technical evidence, ample clear, so instead of ये थोड़ा eco हो रहा ठीक करा दीजिएगा. So instead of going into that, I would like to answer a certain thing conceptual. This is the party which has come for the novelty in the Indian politics, and if you look at their stance, it looks very naive. वही बात ध्यान आती है. If you look 10 years back, what Kejriwal said, forget about that. If you look what 10 years before, those who are having the corruption charges like Congress leaders or DMK leaders or RJD leaders or Samajwadi Party leaders were saying, it is in verbatim letter, spirit, tone and tenor, exactly same thing what Aam Aadmi Party is saying today. Yani wahi purana bahana, wahi purana tarana. And as far as their instance is concerned, Kejriwal ji has said with full confidence that I have seen the papers and everything is okay. So I just want to ask, your government has taken a stand that you are satisfied with the withdrawal of security, and same thing happened, what happened in the next day? You are the same party, we remember. During the 2013 election, दिल्ली की ऑटो के पीछे लिखा रहता था शीला दीक्षित की फोटो के साथ, बेईमान या ईमानदार. और जब गवर्नमेंट बनी और हर्षवर्धन जी ने कहा, तब ये कहते थे मेरे पास बक्सा भर के प्रूफ है शीला दीक्षित के खिलाफ. तो हर्षवर्धन जी से कहते थे सबूत लाइए. So that's how they have changed their instance. Abhi Atishi ji ne kaha, this is the party which has dismissed their minister. Yes, Atishi ji, I would like to remind, you are the party who has appointed your own Lokpal. And you have dismissed your own Lokpal, Admiral Ramdas. तब टोपी पे लिखते थे मुझे चाहिए जन लोकपाल, अब सब भूल भाल गए, सारी बातें खत्म हो गई. Now on this case, finally I would like to ask, whether Mr. Satyendar Jain controls or not, it is the matter for the investigating agencies to decide. But just one thing, if he has the 10 companies or 5-6 companies or not, if he is having no problem in having companies, because anybody can have business, good property with good companies, but if somebody is having so many companies, then is he an Aam Aadmi? Is he a representative of a new politics for which your so-called champions of new politics?
I want to go back on the technicalities. I want to go back on the specifics here.
I want an answer.
Just 1 minute. I have M.R. Venkatesh with me. I have Mohandas Pai with me. And I request you viewers, this is a very interesting debate. The interesting debate is that this is on specifics. And the question becomes that Mr. Satyendar Jain was also the Urban Development Minister. If I'm not mistaken, Atishi, he is still the Urban Development Minister, right? Between the period 28th of December 2013 to 14th of February 2014, and then from the 14th of February 2015 continuing, he continues to be the Urban Development Minister. Would you confirm that, Atishi?
No, he wasn't. No.
He wasn't. When
Mr.
was he?
Manish Sisodia was the Urban Development Minister.
So when was he? When was he Urban Development Minister? Has he held the position of Urban Development Minister?
Yes, from 2015 onwards, he has been the urban development minister.
So if I were to ask,
but in the 49-day government,
yeah,
then Mr. Manish Sisodia was the urban development minister.
Fine. So you do admit, however, and I take the next question to Mohandas Pai, that he has been urban development minister since approximately the middle of February 2015. Now the question being, Mohandas Pai, and there's a precise issue that these are the kind of questions that the India Against Corruption used to talk about before they joined politics. In the early years of AAP, they used to talk about these things, then they don't now. Now, if the urban development minister is making huge investments in land, right, and has been making this land investments in areas near the unauthorized colonies, then what is the question which emerges here of conflict of interest? Should it not be obvious? Leave alone paper companies, Hawala transactions, that a minister who's urban development minister, most pertinent to note that anyway the Honorable Delhi High Court has already questioned this controversial move by the AAP government. But if he's making a windfall, what does that mean? If he's making a windfall, what does that mean? Mohandas Pai.
Arnab, from all the data and the evidence that you are given, it appears that there is something wrong. It is better for the Aam Aadmi Party, which claims to stand for no corruption, to just say, let the law take its course and let the investigation get over, and ask him to resign and to fight the case. Now, for Arvind Kejriwal to say he is the judge, jury, and the prosecutor, he has seen all the papers and he gives his guarantee that there's nothing in the case is political vendetta, is a bit far-fetched. Because only the court has the authority to say whether a person is guilty or not guilty when he's charged. I think it's much better from whatever evidence you are given and others.
Yeah.
For them to
I think all I'd say to the spokesperson, everyone tonight, and Arvind Kejriwal should understand this, Shravan, that you see at the end of the day, these are the kind of figures, this is the kind of questions, this is the kind of journalism that the AAP and India Against Corruption climbed on to. When they said, we support the fight against corruption that you're doing, and now exactly the same language used by them, and they go on and say, we've seen it, not even 1% iota of truth. This is sounding like deja vu. This is like Ashok Chavan during Kargil for profit. Shravan, and you know what happened next. Some more facts come in here, Shravan. I'll add one more. Atish, you'll be shocked at this one. Disclosure of income. You see, Atishi, in your early years in politics, and Yashovardhan Azad will also vouch for the early years in politics, you say nobody should have assets which are not proportionate to their known source of income. Now, I'd like to share with you the income disclosed by Mr. Jain in the return of income tax records, disclosure. 7,49,020 rupees, assessment year 2010 to 2011. 9,320 rupees. 9,09,320 rupees, 10-11 to 11-12, 9 lakh between 11-12 and 12-13, 7 lakh something between 12-13 and 13-14, and he actually registers a personal financial loss of 5 lakh. That means he loses income, makes no money in the assessment year period 2013-14 to 14-15, and then goes on to make, Yashovardhan Azad, a sum of 45,510 for the entire year, Atishi, 14-15 to 15-16, and a figure of 2,30,400, which is approximating about 20,000 rupees a month between 2015, 2016, 2016, 2017. These are income disclosed. Question being, even if I were to say the income disclosed would be 10 times more, how can you, in the same period, between 10-11 and 15-16, get to invest 16.39 crores in movable assets? How does it add up? I don't know. Emma, does it add up? You're a chartered accountant.
Arnab, I can tell you with some amount of confidence that the numbers that you spoke of, that he returns income in lakhs and buys properties in crores, is reflective of a simple fact that this is Hawala, this is corruption. This is money that is not earned in the normal way. This lends itself to Benami transactions. This lends itself to laundering of ill-gotten wealth. This suggests of layering. This is you can make a textbook case. When I or Mohan will go and teach chartered accountants how money laundering happens. We can take this case and numbers and say this is how it happens. You know, A would have done this, B would have done this. Instead, we can say Satyendar Jain has done this.
No, he was before. No, before he came into politics. Let's say the other argument is made, Yashovardhan Azad, that this is because of his income earned before he joined politics. Now, he was in the CPWD, which is Yashovardhan Azad, the central government organization. There are and after that he was an architect for a while. 1 minute.
CPWD, Arnab,
yeah, no, he was in CPWD.
That's false information.
No, what was he?
He had his own architectural firm.
But before that?
He had his own architectural firm. Arnab,
before that?
He had his own business.
Okay, then you tell me. Okay. So let's assume.
You
Atishi.
First of all.
Yeah, Atishi, no, 1 minute. Suppose I take your point that he had earned huge income. That he has earned huge income from the. No, 1 minute. No. If I take the point that Mr. Jain, don't speak over me. I'm countering you.
If I saved money from my earlier jobs, and I have money in my bank, how is it that you can hold that against me?
No, 1 minute. No personal comments here. No personal comments.
No, nothing, no personal. Arnab, I have to tell her because she has to add that all the income that you have added in the last 10 years is having more than 50 lakh rupees. Madam, numbers cannot lie. That is why chartered accountants.
Okay, then the question would be, Yashovardhan Azad, then the question would be, MR 1 minute, MR 1 minute, hold it. Then the question would be, Shravan, that has he, if he has invested, Shravan, 200 bighas of land near the unauthorized colonies, and in areas like Kerala, Ochandi, Nizampur, Bodham North, northwest area of Delhi, he would probably be, on a lighter note, one of the largest owners of land after the Indian Army and the Indian Railways. And if he's bought all this land in the close vicinity of the unauthorized colonies, then I just want to know, Yashovardhan Azad, what is the income with which he can justify the investment in land? There has to be income.
Arnab, you've already done a detailed investigation of the case, so I'm not here to defend Satyendar Jain. I just want to make a very limited point. The issue is that this investigation has been going on for the last 8 years. Now, most of the points you have already, culled out great detail and laid it out very simply. Now, in between, also the ED interviewed him many times, looked at all the papers, attached his property, took away his, papers and looked at the files. My only issue is that after 8 years, can we go on with this kind of a tortuous investigation? The ED should have spared itself of this kind of a criticism. Was there a need of arresting him and custodial?
Was there a need to arrest him? I'd like Sudhanshu Trivedi to respond to that. Sudhanshu Trivedi, why arrest him? Mr. Trivedi? You want to respond to Mr. Azad?
As far as arresting is concerned, yes, I would like to respond. Mr. Azad was always a very senior officer, so he must be knowing that arresting is done by the agencies and it has to be properly vetted in the court. So they have to produce the evidence in the court and accordingly the court decides. And as far as the timing is concerned, if you are saying that this time is happening, just few months back you were saying UP election aa rahe hain. उससे पहले आप कुछ समय बात करेंगे आप कहेंगे गुजरात इलेक्शन आ रहे हैं. So that's what the problem, that every 6 months there is one election and that if timing is to be connected with the election, I think it hardly matters. It is for the investigating agencies to decide, and if there is anything wrong, Arnab has already quoted the High Court verdict.
I'm just saying
if
here,
the High Court has categorically said that
I'm just saying here, Atishi, my question to you here is,
then what is
my question would be, I want Shravan to come in on it. If there are land purchases of more than 200 bighas in Kerala, Ochandi, Nizampur, Bodham, north and northwest area of Delhi, totaling 27.69 crores, which were allegedly made by Satyendar Jain in the name of paper companies, at some point, Shravan, my point is at some point, beyond just saying, oh, it's political, I think he's honest, there's got to be a factual counter to this, right, Shravan? And there's more. Shravan, would you like to share more?
Well, in fact, as you know, Atishi has been constantly referring to the money laundering case. But as far as the income tax case goes, in which categorically they've made a mention, they've held him responsible for tax evasion. Simply because, Arnab, you've already pointed out the entire list of the income tax returns. But if you look at his family members, in fact, his wife has not even filed a return as per the assessment order that has been accessed by Republic TV, in which they clearly make a mention that his income does not correlate with the investment that has been made. That is about 200 acres that is in the vicinity of the national capital. And not just that, in today's remand copy that has now been accessed, they are talking about backdated letters that were basically made only to cover their tracks. Now, I'm just quoting from the document that we have. This is what they say. Satyendar Kumar Jain had signed conveyance deeds for purchase of agricultural lands by Prayas Info Solutions Private Limited on 13/06/2011, 17/06/2011, on January 3rd, 2012, and then again 6th of January 2012, in which agricultural lands of village Karala was purchased. Then they're talking about two people, Ankush Jain and Vaibhav Jain. They were the ones who were appointed as directors in the companies on the basis of backdated documents.
No,
that's exactly what
simple
I'm quoting
question, Chavan, which I think I would invite Atishi to the question that Atishi I would invite her to answer again and to give a full opportunity. Is that, Atishi, think about it. The disclosure of income by Mr. Satyendar Kumar Jain and his wife, Ms. Poonam Jain, is not correlated with the huge investment in 200 bighas of land through several companies. And therefore, it becomes essential to examine the details of return of income in the relevant period. Now, Mr. Kejriwal has himself been in the revenue service. The fundamental question is, what are your earnings and what are your assets? There's got to be a correlation, right? Where's the politics here?
Arnab, okay. You have now said several things in the last 15-20 minutes. Give me a few minutes to answer all of them. Number one, income between year A and year B and investments between year A and year B are not necessarily correlated, because someone could have earned money in the A-1, A-2, A-10, A-20, A-30 years.
Okay.
Just because I'm buying land or investing money in one particular year,
later,
I do not need to have earned money in that particular year.
Oh.
For example, as I was saying, if I was to give my personal example, the salary that I earn today as a member of the Legislative Assembly is much lesser than I would have earned maybe many years ago before I joined politics. So obviously, if I have any savings in my bank account, then they will not be commensurate with my current salary, number one. Number two, the Enforcement Directorate has been investigating this case for 8 years. In 2018, Mr. Satyendar Jain was called, summoned, interviewed more than 8 times.
Okay, tell me one thing. Did Mr. Satyendar Jain inform the Election Commission of India about his investments in land? Did Mr. Satyendar Jain inform, as per the law to which you and I are bound, as per the law to which you and I are all bound, and all of us are bound, he would have to inform about his direct or indirect investment in any land before the Election Commission of India? Has he done that? Has he done that?
Arnab,
Arnab, one thing. Atishi has said a very...
Stop calling guests on your debate, and maybe you should do a 1-hour monologue.
No, I'm asking you a question.
From 9 p.m. to 10 p.m.
No, I'm asking you.
Doing a monologue.
No, I'm asking
anyway.
you can make any personal remarks. I won't respond to them. You know me. It's water off a duck's back. I'll answer. I'll just ask you the question.
See, you are just continuing a monologue.
Atishi has made a one thing.
No, I'm asking you. One minute. Sudhanshu, just wait, because she's in the hot seat tonight. Mike, 1 minute. Sudhanshu, just wait. Viewers, please listen to me tonight. I'm asking you 1 minute. Just a minute. I am asking you, Atishi, just 1 minute, please. I am asking a very legit question. You responded with personal remarks on me. I would request you to desist from making any personal remarks on me. I do not appreciate it, but I'll ask you the question. My question is, if you are a MLA... No, of course I'll ask you the question non-stop.
9 p.m.
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yeah, it's the most watched show on Indian television. Yes, it's the most watched show on Indian television. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. No, it's not an allegation. It's a question to you.
The Enforcement Directorate
question to you is the
has been
following.
investing Enforcement Directorate has been investigating this case for the last 8 years. In 2018, all of Mr. Satyendar Jain's financial documents were taken, some of his properties were attached, questioning was done, all of his income tax statements were taken.
The thing is, Atishi,
2019 onwards.
Mr. Atishi, Ms. Atishi, some of my viewers are commenting tonight. Some of my viewers are commenting tonight that they are getting a sense of deja vu. Mohandas Pai is nodding his head. Everyone on the debate. It's an exciting debate.
Pradesh elections were happening. This is the only reason it has been pulled out of cold storage.
Atishi has taken a technical stand that if somebody is having the savings from the previous years, yes, definitely he can have less income in 1 year and can have the saving from the previous years. But in that case, I would like to say just one sentence. When you become the member of the MLA or MP, any of the house, then you have to declare your assets and liabilities. Even you have to declare your jewelry also. So if Mr. Satyendar Jain, when he first time contested election in 2013, he can show that he was having the assets worth rupees more than 16 crores or whatsoever it is, then no problem. He might have inherited, we accept. But you cannot say that it was my saving but not shown. If he has shown, then you can say that he has shown the assets worth rupees so many crores, despite having the income on that year, just few lakhs rupees or even few thousand, it can be considered.
The simple question here tonight is, see, the thing is that, of course, Kejriwal is a politician, he takes a political position on it.
I have a question to you, Sudhanshu ji. 8 years Enforcement Directorate has been investigating this case. He was summoned more than 8 times in 2018. Case was put into cold storage for the last 3 years. Not one paper was asked for, not one summon, not one interview. How is it that all of a sudden, 3 years, nothing, no mention of this case, no investigation, no new documents also that Enforcement Directorate is today presenting? All of a sudden, how is this case pulled out of cold storage? It is pulled out of cold storage only for one reason, because the Himachal Pradesh elections are coming up, and that is the reason that
you want to make the debate political. I'm making it factual. Shikha is on the debate. Shikha also doesn't buy that. You buy that argument. You buy that argument, Shikha. No, one second. Shikha Mukherjee, do you buy that argument? Do you buy that argument, Shikha? I know you've got problems with... No, do you buy... Does Shikha Mukherjee buy the argument? Let's take a third party view. Shikha, you buy that?
CBI had to close a 4-year-old case against Satyendar Jain. Why? And CBI said, we did not find any evidence. That is what the CBI said finally when they closed a 4-year-old case. You had so many debates, Arnab, on the CBI raids against Mr. Satyendar Jain. You pronounced Satyendar Jain guilty when CBI turned up at his place. You pronounced Satyendar Jain guilty when Satyendar Jain was questioned by the CBI. And after 4 long years, the Central Bureau of Investigation says that all these cases that you filed had absolutely no substance.
I'm just telling you that what you should do is... What you should do is, one minute. Do you tell me? Yeah, I know you've got a prepared statement today.
This is not the first time they are targeting Aam Aadmi Party.
I know you've got a prepared statement.
35 MLAs have had cases against them. Ministers have had cases against them. Aam Aadmi Party leaders have had cases against them.
Okay, thank you. Now, can I get Shikha in, please? I have a few minutes left. Shikha, my question is this. Shikha. One minute. I want to get Shikha in. Shikha, irrespective of the fact that there's a political angle to this, there's also a question of the facts at hand, right? And I find it very, very interesting that if you're holding the Urban Development Ministry, the last thing you should do is make money through real estate deals, you know. It's like if you're the health minister, the last thing you should do is through deals with health related companies. It's obvious that line has been crossed here. Shikha.
Well, Arnab, at this point in time, investigations are on, and there have been I entirely agree with the former speaker who says these interminable investigations, these intermittent investigations by the ED and the CBI are absolutely unacceptable. This is no way in which to conduct an investigation. This is no way to hold anyone to account. And this is no way in which you can link what is happening politically with what is happening.
Manaswi, no, but
in terms of the finances, what emerges out of these interminable investigations is a case of convenience. It is convenient for the Bharatiya Janata Party to make a noise at this point in time over a case which has been going on for 8 years, as Atishi very correctly pointed out.
okay, so
It is also convenient for the victim to say that we are being targeted. This is a tango that is politically orchestrated for the purposes of making political.
no, I just say that if I just say this, Shikha, that I'd say this that when I was seeing when I just saw the High Court order, and I must admit I saw it today. Manas. We saw the High Court order. The first thing which struck me was that how come he's in the cabinet now? I mean, if these are the observations of the High Court, Manaswi, in 2019 about Satyendar Jain, then why was he in the cabinet after that? He should have been sacked immediately. One second. May I get in Manaswi also in this? Manaswi.
Arnab, I have a simple question. Whatever you are saying and whatever you are presenting to the country are the evidences which the ED had since beginning. But what did the ED did since last 8 years? They were silent. The question is on the silence of ED and the selective timing of ED. Now the bigger question what comes to my mind is the yardstick which the BJP spokesperson and BJP holds. Why were they silent when Narada scam poster boy joins BJP? It's a complete whitewash on corruption. When land scams happen in Karnataka,
but tell me,
they are silent on that part. When if they are against corruption or they are against Aam Aadmi Party.
I'm just saying that you need to, and all of us, and I'll
equivalent to Narada and Edwards. चलिए मनस्वी ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया कि आम आदमी पार्टी भी उसी तरीके से आम पार्टी है जो नारदा वगैरह के साथ इन्वॉल्व थी, और दूसरा अभी जो शिखा जी ने कहा कि व्हाई द नॉइज हैज बीन मेड, आई वांट एन आंसर बिफोर कमिंग टू पावर. केजरीवाल जी हैज मेड सो मच नॉइज अगेंस्ट द करप्शन ऑफ द कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट. 7 years have passed. व्हाट इज द रिजल्ट? आई वांट एन आंसर. कितना नॉइज मचाया था? सारे के सारे चोर है ये शब्द बोला था. 7 साल में क्या इन्वेस्टिगेट किया बताइए?
कुछ फाइंड कर सके?
आप तो इसी मुद्दे पे आए थे, बोला था कि हम नई पॉलिटिक्स लाएंगे, सारा क्लीन कर देंगे. अब बताइए ना 7 साल में क्या किया? बक्सा भर के सबूत थे शीला दीक्षित जी के खिलाफ आप बोलते थे. क्या किया 7 साल में? एक चार्जशीट भी फाइल किया बताइए. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज शियर पॉलिटिक्स.
क्या
Well, you know,
अरे भाई मैं तो पूछ रहा हूँ भाई, आपको आए थे नई पॉलिटिक्स के लिए,
बीजेपी में आ जाएंगे,
सारे के सारे चोर हैं ये शब्द बोला गया था.
क्या वो करप्ट रहेंगे?
No, but you know, I think I would actually say just one thing here.
Even the case.
One minute. Sudhanshu Trivedi, I would just say one thing here. That, you know, if there's a fingerprint and there is a trail, then the timing becomes of lesser consequence. The bigger consequence is the fingerprint and the trail. And if, for example, a murder is committed and the fingerprint and the trail is left there, and the trail and fingerprint is found 5 years later, or it's gone through a verification process and fixed 5 years later, that doesn't mean that you can discount it. Now, all the papers would have signatures of Mr. Satyendar Jain. That's the fascinating thing out here. Right? Indometal Impex Limited, Parias Info Solutions, all of these would have shareholder agreements, purchase agreements, and signed documents. So I think there's a great opportunity, Atishi, here for Arvind Kejriwal to say that I shall not stand for corruption. Be that corruption as close to me as possible. And in fact, if he were to take that position, people would applaud, but let's see whether he does that. Ladies and gentlemen, on the other side tonight, another targeted attack, another absolutely targeted attack in the Kashmir Valley. And we're asking, what really does the government have as a plan in action to stop this? On the other side.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university in the recently released education